Hi again, and welcome to the Stimulate Your Relationship Show, where nothing is taboo and nothing is off limits for helping you to stimulate, excite, and reignite your relationship for more fulfillment and fun. I've found when you stimulate your relationship in all kinds of positive ways, your net result is a stimulated, happier, more productive life. So let's get to it. We have an exciting show tonight. Gail Crowder is here this evening. Since Gail is here, we'll be talking about bringing intimacy back to your relationship and a sexier, more fulfilled you. We'll be talking sex and practical ways to feel sexier and better about yourself and get the fulfillment you're looking for personally and from your relationship. We always value your point of view, so let us know what's on your mind and what relationship challenges you want us to focus on. Send your comments directly to Zev at stimulateyourrelationship.com. This is a great time to think about ways you can stimulate your relationship. So sit back, chillax, open your heart and mind, and consider some ways you can explore and enhance your relationship. Here's today's Rev with Zev moment. So you don't feel very sexy or in the mood to pursue any kind of intimacy in your relationship. You're tired, you're stressed, you're turned off big time. Some of you can't imagine having anything even close to sex in your relationship at the present time. Well, you're not alone, but that's helping you be without an important part of your life. How's your partner feeling about it? No idea? You stop caring? They stop caring? So it stands. What to do? Anything at all? You have a choice, and we all know it's easier to do nothing. Here's two possible directions. First and foremost, you really might consider your own feelings first. If it makes you feel better, take some time to care about your appearance and look your best. And if you don't already, consider having some sex with yourself. I refer you, if you're curious, to a TED Talk by Tisha Morgan, a sex therapist, on masturbation. You will find it very eye-opening. There are many reputable outlets and discreet to find a safe romance enhancement product that turns you on. Many do this, many just feel they can't do it because of inhibitions and so on, and that's all right. There are parties where you can hear about the benefits from people who are experienced and answer some of your questions. Yes, this is very personal and private matter, but it's a way on your own to explore places that turn you on, so if the opportunity arises, you can share those with your partner, so you can be the recipient of great pleasure. Many guys already masturbate. That's not big news. The other is more difficult. It involves having a difficult conversation with your partner about the possibility of finding a mutual way to resume some kind of intimacy in your life or not. If it's yes, it can be gradual. It could involve the two of you going on a day trip, being closer, exploring something new. Hey, even hugging and kissing, amazing. Once you stop, it's very difficult to get back, but you and your partner deserve attention if this is what you signed up for in your relationship. You may disagree with me. It might be easier to just not. You can't see yourself having sex with yourself or your partner who you feel legitimately has caused you to just shut down. Okay, we brought it out into the light. You're an adult. It's your choice. I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot me. Just consider what it might take to stimulate your relationship and get some of your needs met. I can help, so seek me out. We'll be right back to introduce you to tonight's panel guest.
Scrivo quest'ultima canzone solo per ricordarti, partita
Welcome back. One quick thing before I introduce our panel guest. After the show, please log on to RevwithZev.com to take advantage of free downloads and virtual courses complete with hands-on tools you can do together today so you can promote understanding and stimulate your relationship. Free downloads can be found at RevwithZev.com. So log on, join my list so you continue to receive helpful ideas to keep it stimulated. You won't be disappointed. And now, let's meet tonight's panel guest. Gail Crowder is a wife of over 30 years, mother of 2, and founder and president of Bringing Sexy Back to the Marriage, BSB. After seeing a need in both secular and religious communities, Gail saw a need to create a safe space dedicated to the spiritual and sexual enhancement of marriages for the modern-day wife. Gail has been responsible for spicing up thousands of marriages through the BSB conference and continues to change lives every day. As an author, marriage, and life coach, Gail has appeared on dozens of television and radio shows as a specialist and a seasoned lifestyle and relationship expert. Gail is a certified master sexpert, marriage and life coach, and member of the International Coaching Science Research Institute, Life University, and member of Harvard Medical School Institute of Coaching. Gail has authored several books related to marriage and sex, which includes her signature book, Bringing Sexy Back to the Marriage, and her latest best-selling book, Keep Your Legs Open, A Wife's Guide to Sexual Satisfaction and Praying for the Penis. Gail's energy, expertise, and tell it like it is approach make her a sought-after keynote speaker and workshop facilitator. It's so great to have you on tonight. And I always like, because you're a woman that says it like it is. You're a mother. You've been through the whole experience. But let's start with where you started. You started as an image consultant, and how important it is for people to look their best.
Absolutely, especially when you're trying to either attract a mate or you're trying to keep your mate. And so I always tell women that men really are visual. They start to feel sexually, attracted to you when they visually see you. And so you have to keep yourself visually stimulating.
A lot of people don't know that. A lot of women think, married, let it go.
No, you can't let it go. And sometimes I always tell women, stop going to bed looking like you're going to war. Because we go to bed, and I can be guilty of it as well. Even though I teach this stuff, sometimes I just don't feel like it. But I will tell you, more than not, I make sure that I go to bed very sexually appealing to my husband, because, you guys go to work every day. You see all these cute women passing you by in your offices and those kind of things, and you just got to make sure.
Gail's no fool.
I know.
I have a little button that says, I love those sweats. No, I don't. No, I don't. But the important thing is that you come from that beginning part, which is so important, the visual and the looking good, and he's this and she's that. Well, why don't you do something about yourself?
Absolutely.
First and foremost.
Work on yourself. And it has nothing to do with weight. It has to be how you carry yourself and if you feel comfortable. And you have to feel sexually attractive to yourself before you can be sexually attractive to your mate. And I always tell women, you have to be confident. You have to exude confidence. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of times women struggle with self-esteem, and it shows with the way we carry ourselves. Absolutely. If we're not, keeping ourselves up, if we don't feel good, those kind of things.
We see it in the mirror, one way or the other, right?
We do.
The mirror don't lie.
It does not lie at all.
So you've written books.
Yes.
And the books have great names, and I love the names. Keep Your Legs Open, Praying for the Penis. Let's start with that. Praying for the Penis.
Well, that's my latest book, and I'm so happy that I wrote this. And it's just really a compliment to Keep Your Legs Open. Keep Your Legs Open came from me being inundated about women not being sexually satisfied in the bedroom. and they really didn't know how to articulate that to their significant others. And so this really is a journey about really self-exploring, learning your erogenous zones, learning what really pleases you, learning how to achieve an orgasm on your own.
It's about discovery,
It's
self-exploration.
It's all about that, because if you don't know the roadmap, it's hard to tell someone else how to get you there. And then so praying for the penis, I get a lot of women who are frustrated with their spouses. For some reason, men don't like to go to the doctor. They don't like to say when they are not being able to perform at their peak. And so a lot of women don't understand that men go through menopause as well. You have hormone drops just like we do. And so this book really is a guide to help a woman understand where men are. As women, we will get together and we will talk about our issues. We will talk about, I'm having night sweats, I'm in menopause, I have bad cramps. We talk about all of those things. But men are not going to get together and talk about those things.
Sometimes, an erect penis, is like it's a creation.
Yeah,
it
is. It is a creation.
It has to be, a lot of men will not talk about it.
They will not.
But it's a creation. It's got to happen.
It has to happen, and sometimes if you're struggling, if you have a hormone drop, you're having erectile dysfunction problems, you just pull away. You don't come and say, this is the reason why I don't want to engage, because I'm having a physical issue.
I'm certainly not one that I want to talk about and tell anybody about, tell you about. I'm just going to disengage, and it goes on for a long time. And then people get very uncomfortable, and she gets craven. And he's got whatever he's got going on, and it's all a mental thing. And the two people have not put the thing on the table and said, "Hey, here's what's going on with us."
Exactly, and we need to talk about it, and it's okay to talk about it because there's always help out there. It really is.
So, do you find couples to be stubborn?
Absolutely.
Amazingly,
Absolutely.
I've done, as a therapist, did a lot of individual counseling, and working with couples. It's a pretty united front of resistance.
Absolutely.
So what's your experience with that? Because you're trying to get these women and people together, and resistance is I'm sure is a...
Well, most of my practice, my coaching practice is with women, but I do couples coaching as well. And I find that the men who actually when I do the couples coaching, it's really the men that reach out the most. For some reason, they find me, I guess, a little bit more fair, because a lot of times I think more like men than women. And so I try to remain neutral. But a lot of times when men come to me, it's because their wives have set the bar and said, if you don't do something about this, it's done. And so it's like
an ultimatum already.
Like a 911 call. And so they're trying to save
help
their
me.
Yes, help me. I know, and I don't have a magic wand. You have to do the work, and you
It's
have
about
to.
making that wand magic, I think, is what we're talking about. Is that right? I think that's what we're,
That's true. That is true. And so when I find that the resistance is that nobody wants to say, I'm guilty. It's always the other person's fault.
Absolutely, that's easy.
Or I'm sorry and really mean it.
I don't feel like it. I can't. I'm just not.
Or he's
work's stressful,
and they keep bringing up things that happened 10 years ago. It's like you've stayed with them, 9 other years. So why don't you just move on? Put a period behind that and quit putting commas and just keep moving on.
I mean, the doctor would say to the guy, "Turn your head and cough."
Yes.
But the wife has to say, "It's time for us to, sit down and talk about this, get some help, maybe." Talk to each other. Maybe we can find the help from within. If we can't, then let's go with out, and let's find a way to resolve this, because you're not happy, I'm not happy, and we didn't start this way. We certainly we were happy when we started. We were at it all the time,
and it just goes away. But sometimes life happens, and they have become such a routine, and I always say it's like putting on a comfortable pair of shoes. Sometimes you got to quit wearing those comfortable shoes and get uncomfortable to rekindle what you lost. because it used to be anticipation. It used to be like, I can't wait to get to this person so we can have sex or we can engage and just have a great time. Now it's like, oh my God, I got to go home. And that's where you open the door for infidelity and so many different things. And so you really have to work at it every single day. I say marriage is a job that you never leave. You got to work it every single day.
Absolutely. And what do you do? You know, rejection and dejection. These are the seeds of great unhappiness and pushing away. You know, someone who feels dejected and rejected isn't likely to just respond to your wish. What can you do? How do you deal with it? A lot of people you work with have been dejected.
Absolutely. Well, I always say that you can't change the other person. The only person you can change is yourself. And I believe that, you know, if you want something, you have to sow it first. And what do I mean by that? If you want affection, you have to be affectionate first. Even if that person continues to push you away, if you want this marriage to work, you're going to have to be the one to reach out. Because if everybody's waiting for the other person to reach out, it's just not going to ever happen.
Look, I'm waiting for you to pleasure me.
Yes.
I've been waiting for you to
You
pleasure me for whole life.
No,
you know?
but again, you have to know what pleasures you, and you have to be able to guide them. And I always say, if you date your spouse and you have great conversations outside the bedroom, you will have better conversations inside the bedroom. And so I always encourage couples to start going on dates and not talk about problems, talk about solutions and future things that they want to explore together.
All right, so we can take this up a little bit. Up next, sexpectations. So, when someone's shut down, sex, intimacy, it's not something, you know, that they're thinking about. And how do you, it's like two people in two different countries. How do you get them, even if you've primed them, even if they've gotten the best that Gail Crowder has to offer? They went to Gail Crowder's, you know, Oz, and, you know, they got it all ready to go see the wizard, you know what I'm saying? And they're just shut down. One of them is shut down. What do you do?
I always tell them to play a game. Introduce something different into their bedroom, whether it's a game, whether it's massage, whether it is a toy.
So we're talking novelty.
Yes,
we're talking
absolutely, because it will bring some spark back into the relationship, especially if it's dead. And the power of touch is powerful. And so I always say, at least start with a sensual massage.
And it's hard. It's very difficult for people to even start. You know, the friction, the touch.
Yes.
Getting two people sometimes just to touch.
Yes.
It's a big.
Well, the thing is if you want this marriage or relationship to work, you gotta start. So I always say, at least start with the power of touch. Start with holding hands when you're going, like start somewhere. You can't both be stubborn and think that you're going to have a successful relationship. It's just not going to happen.
Angry, resentful,
yes,
in your head isn't going to get anything started.
It's not.
You know, in the bed. That's for sure.
It's really not. And so the thing is that you have to be able to communicate. And so many couples have stopped communicating, and the communication is the key to everything, and you have to start that outside of the bedroom. And if there's unresolved issues, if there's been infidelities, if it's been any of those things, again, you have to put a period behind those if you really want to move forward. And sometimes people don't want, they say that they want to, you know, move forward, but they, like I said, they keep putting them commas and
they're
never put a period.
I mean, there's a lot of procrastination. In this department, there's major procrastination. But just a drop about foreplay. Foreplay to what end? Like, what's the end? Is the end the big event, you know, the big, you know, rolling and sweating, you know, roly-poly?
No,
what's
actually,
the foreplay to what end?
Foreplay should be going on all the time. It should be going on all the time. And with technology, you can really have a lot of good foreplay. A text message, you know, a kiss. All of those things need to happen. And what I'm finding with women, it takes us a lot to get in the mood, right? You guys are like microwave ovens. We are like a traditional oven, right? It takes us anywhere
You
from
got to
20.
get fired up.
It takes us from anywhere from 20 to 35 minutes to really be ready to receive you guys. And so many women are feeling empty because you guys are wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And we're like, well, wait a minute.
We just got revved.
ready. We just got ready.
just got revved when you got finished.
Yes.
You know, and,
And
you
so,
know, like, the
I
roast,
love
the
that.
roast was already
I love
ready.
that. We just got revved. I love that.
It's kind of, I mean, 35 minutes, you know, you could cook, you know, a dinner.
Yes,
you know, in 35,
and it's true.
And people think that way.
But if
It's
you
true.
really want to please the other person, you will put in the work. But you also have to know you can do that all day long. You can start the process all day long.
Plus, we
Just-
come into this world with a lot of tools.
Yes.
We got hands.
We do.
We got feet.
Feet.
We
We
got
got
a
a
mouth.
mouth.
We
We
got
got a
ears.
lot of
We got
different-
many, many things that people don't think about.
They
and
don't-
because
they
they just have taken it out of the. Basically, it's been taken off the table. It
Yes.
needs to be put back on the table.
But you know what? Most of the time when you talk to singles who are dating, they're having amazing sex. Wonder why that is, and then when you get married, that's why marriage gets a bad name. Because it's like, oh, the woman turns into a nun, and the guy turns into a drive-through.
The death sentence of my sex life.
I know, and
Dun,
so,
da-da,
and they say,
da-da.
don't get married. But this is when you can have the most fun, right? And so because it's safer, you know, and you should be able to do whatever you want to do, create any fantasy that you want in your bedroom. And so I just tell people to loosen up, have the conversation, and if you're having any type of, you know, physical or mental issues, get them addressed and move on.
So what do these ladies say to you when it works? When they go home and the things that you've taught them, or or they've, you know, they've absorbed something and they took it home and it worked. What do they say?
They say, Gail, I rocked his world, and we have been doing much better. We've been communicating better. I sleep better. He sleeps better. Our home is doesn't have so much tension. The children are much happier. You don't understand, having a healthy sex life can literally do so many things, not just for you physically, but also mentally, and it could change the whole mood of your whole entire family.
And your whole life.
It surely can.
And your perspective.
Yes, it
For
surely
sure, you know, changes to the nth degree, but people don't know that because they're busy, you know, shut down. And there's a lot of people that it's like dentistry. And
Yes,
if you,
like,
you know,
oh my
part
God.
dentistry. I mean, you have to, he ain't going to go for that. She ain't going to go for that.
But they don't
he ain't
even
gonna
try.
do that, right?
And that's why I said go on a date and have a conversation. Me and my husband have a date every single Friday night, and we don't talk about bills, we don't talk about work, we talk about all the fun things we want to do, the vacations we want to experience, the places we want to go. You know, we're going to be rich. You know, we talk about those kind of things that are positive.
Dreaming together.
Absolutely.
You know,
So that way,
dreaming maybe leads to some steaming.
There
know,
you go.
maybe. You know, maybe.
I love
maybe,
your thing.
maybe, huh? You know,
Yes.
the hope is.
Yes,
that,
no, it really does. Because again, it takes some of the pressure off, and you see that person like you seen them when you first met them, and you really desired them, and those kind of things. And especially if you've been married as long as I've been married, you had kids, you've had so many things that happen.
36 years. How about you?
30 years.
There you go. So we're in the we're in the neighborhood.
There you go. But you have to go to work. Just like you have to go to work and achieve at your job, you need to go to work and work at your marriage. Because when all the lights are dimmed, your career is over, you want to be looking at a person that you still love, that you cherish, and you still desire.
Well, Gail Crowder, please keep on saying it like it is, just like people say about me. He says it like it is. He's willing to talk about it. Please, you were put here for that, Gail,
Thank you.
and continue, because it's making a big difference in our world.
Thank you
thanks
so much.
much for coming tonight.
I truly appreciate it.
So to find out more about our panel guests, here's how to contact her. To connect with Gail Crowder, my consulting and coaching practice has allowed me the unique privilege and opportunity to work with couples with a wide array of relationship challenges, including infidelity, communication, sexual concerns, both face-to-face in Maryland and virtually all over the world through my online relationship stimulation consulting practice. I invite you Find out more about how I can help you stimulate your relationship through my free resources and online virtual courses for couples and consulting services. Log on to RevwithZev.com and get the scoop. Get in touch with me. Let me help you transform your relationship into a truly stimulating and exciting adventure. You can begin to reconnect for a deeper, more exciting relationship. Please check out all my social media platforms. I'm live on Facebook at Stimulate Your Relationship, so tune in and you'll find ways to stimulate your relationship into the enjoyable space it absolutely can be. We'll leave you tonight with a few ways to stimulate your relationship and some novelty in your relationship, and you will enjoy it more. Add novelty to your together times, whether you're in for the night or you're out on an awesome outing. Novelty gets your brain's pleasure center juices flowing in ways that make you both feel good and enjoy. And take time in your life and think like a lover. Many of you already do sometimes. It can lead to intimate fireworks. Finally, try asking yourself, what's right with your relationship instead of always focusing on what's wrong. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Zev Halpern. See you next time for a jam-packed new episode of Stimulate Your Relationship.